Okay, this is the start of Paletti. Okay. We are driving. We've just driven north along Mount Terrible road, track, one of them. And we now want to drop down into Jamison, so we are going on Paletti track. Now, I will admit, I have done this track before, but it was right at the end of a trip out. Oh God, this is steep. I don't remember this. Just don't get too close. There's a few loose rocks here. I don't want to flick them at you. Okay. Oh, jeez. That's the turn. Can't see where the road goes. There we go. What was I saying? And it was like late in the evening and a thunderstorm came over. It was really dark and I'm pretty sure the GoPro decided that it was going to pick that track to be an arse. So I had in-cab footage, but I didn't have top of the cab footage. And the top of the cab, the in-cab footage was hilarious because there was one bit of the track that just made me go, holy crap, because it was a bit wet, and just making sure Zoe can see where I'm going. It was a bit wet, and this is the right way, isn't it? There's bloody tracks everywhere. Oh yeah, so that joins back up to Mount Terrible. We're going this way. One is too slow. Anyway, yeah, it was really slippy, slidey, mud, and you know I hate mud. But it's not rained, so I'm going to expect that bit should be fine. This is like ridiculously slow. It's taking time. So, there she is. So I'm in a convoy of 2. Nobody else wanted to come with me, it's just me and Zoe today. Zoe is in a Hilux. Yeah, Zoe's in a Hilux. I'm obviously in my 150 Prado with my all-terrains and lift and winch and snorkel. All of those things. I'm in low. I got my central diff locked. Don't have lockers in the front or back. Oh, probably should have dropped to first there. Oh, that's alright. It's a long weekend. It's the second long weekend of the Easter holidays. And it's really quiet. Campsites yesterday anyway that we went to, dead, which is nice. Cannot see where the track goes. Just do that. It's okay. And we just met somebody at the top of Mount Terrible. He was staying in the hut, 2 people in fact, and they have walked from Melbourne to the top of Mount Terrible. Like, they're doing a whole big massive trip thing, but they've walked from Melbourne. Impressive. Carrying everything. If you look shortly, when you kind of get to a flat bit up to your right, you'll see the top of Mount Terrible where we've obviously just come down from.
Okay.
This looks quite cool.
To see the tower.
Yeah. Go down.
Do you know why they call it that terrible?
Because it's terrible.
It's like really steep up some of those faces.
Okay, just take the speed up. Like, are you just making that up?
Yep.
Oh god, what's this? I mean, it does look pretty steep. I was like, oh, what track's that? That looks really steep, but that's the one we've just done. Oof.
This is more steep, isn't it?
I reckon. There's that bit, it looks gnarly, but it's fine. Just go slow.
Somebody left a little piece of their car there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like someone's had a good effort to maybe get up, so maybe coming back up this way, that's how it's managed to get such big holes in it. Can't imagine somebody would do that damage coming down the way we are.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I think it helps when you get a bit that's a little bit like that, where you know you can't fall off the side. It's when you get something like that and you can fall off the side that it just makes it that little bit more scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what's going on here? Okay, it's fine. So far, this track has got a fairly decent rock base to it. I know though that there's that slippy slidey muddy bit in the wet coming up. But it's a nice track to drive. Some steep bits. Well, maybe not that steep for some. Maybe really steep for others. Oh god. Everyone's got an opinion. Can't see where the truck's going. Go. It's not rained for 2 days, 3 days, but there was a load of rain. Like recovery vehicles were out and then recovery vehicles were getting stuck. That's how much rain there was a few days ago. And we're hoping tomorrow to be able to cross the Goulburn on a Ford. I'm not convinced that we're going to be able to do that. We're going to go really slow now. Sorry. Wonder if this was the slippy slidey bit. That bend looks familiar. I don't know. I don't need to go that slow. Okay. I think it might have been. how in the wet that this would be slippy. You doing all right back there?
Yeah, no worries.
Nothing on rooftops. Like, it's funny, I just did Dane Spur to kind of get over from Big River into Jamison. Dane Spur has got a sign on it marked steep. Got to the steep section, nothing. I would say this track is steeper than Dane Spur, but yet has nothing written on it. And you know, that's why you try and look at lots of different things. You look at HEMA, you look at new tracks, you look at this, you ask people for their opinions, you look at everything, because you can't just rely on one source for your information. I think the topography helps. Take a look at the topography, and if the lines are close together, it's steep. I would say the steepest part of this track, it will be coming up shortly. My car is making a weird noise, and I don't know what it is. It's had a service last week and something is rattling around. But I'll take it to my friend and be like, help me, tell me what's wrong. Oh gosh, this is slow. I know second is going to be too fast though. Got a switchback coming up, but it's massive. Not at all scary. Oh, you're right behind me.
Yeah, I snuck up on you.
It's because when I'm in first gear, it's so slow.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of trouble like controlling my acceleration and braking just with a downhill ascent control on.
What gear are you having it in?
Oh, various. I'm sort of trying a few different things, but I just find as soon as I take my foot off the accelerator, it lurches to a sort of slower speed. So I'm having a bit of trouble between accelerating and using that braking control.
Just trying to think, because when I suppose the only time I accelerate, like I try and be in the right gear so that I'm not accelerating and I'm not having to brake. That's, I suppose, the sweet spot you want to try and find.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I'm selecting to a slower gear.
Yeah. But you know, sometimes I'll be in one and it will just be crawling down and I'm like, oh, this is too slow, and I'll put it into second and then that's too fast. Yeah, but I don't think I really accelerate, to be honest, when I'm coming downhill.
Okay, I must be doing something wrong because I'm in 3 now with the downhill ascent control on and I'm going a slow walking pace.
Yeah. And if you dropped that to second but didn't have the downhill ascent control on, then you'd be going too fast?
I've just dropped it to 3 without it on. Yeah, that's definitely too fast.
Yeah, like I'm in second.
Yes, I've got it off now and in second, and I'm going really very slowly.
I mean, the only real way is to do what you're doing and just keep playing around with it so that you know what type of inclines you want for what gear and stuff. other bits were steeper. I reckon I've gone over the muddy bit. I reckon it was that bit back there. And the dry, totally different. As the old tracks, isn't it? We have an oncoming. Are you just one?
Yeah, just me.
I've got someone else, so just give us a second. Have you found a space to pull over?
Got somewhere to pull over?
Have you got somewhere to pull over? Because it's not very wide up there.
I know. Have they come past you?
I'm just talking to them right now. Yeah, just keep coming, Zoe. They'll just wait here. There's enough room to get past.
Okay.
Cool. It's just her. Thank you. Will they ever find out that they were on my video? There you go.
Open strike!
Pinstripes. Is that when you've had to go past them?
Yeah.
Wear them with pride. Thinking about it, last time I did this track as well, I had my smaller all-terrains on. I kind of would have liked to have done it in similar conditions so that I could see if the tyre choice made any difference. But it's definitely much drier than it was last time when I did it. Nice track though, like not boring. There's some interesting bits up there, like this bit we're getting down towards the main road. There's not much left to go. Oh, that was the wrong choice. You know, you have to think about, oh, that looks like that would be slippy in the wet. I reckon that would be a bit slippy, slimy. See all the clay on the left hand side there. No kids, which is a bit sad really. They're with their dad. Not that that's sad. Like, they've not been out camping since the end of January. And I'm like, come on, you need to come. It's not their weekend with me, but I would have brought them if they'd wanted to come. But to them, camping isn't like, yay, camping! It's like, oh yeah, we're going camping, because we do it all the time. One day, when they're adults and they have to earn their own money, they will understand that Mummy brings them camping because she ain't got no money to take them on holidays to hotels. But that, like, I think all kids should camp. All of them. Wow, hello, that was the wrong ear. This looks muddy as... yeah. That'd be interesting in the wet. It's not steep though, so, you know, you'd slide a little bit. Keep out private property. That's down to the left. The track carries on. I reckon this would be pretty slimy in the wet.
I was thinking that.
It's funny because the section that I drove last time that was like, oh my gosh, you should have seen my face, it was hilarious but scary. Like, we've done that bit way back and it was bone dry and it's like, how would anyone have a problem here? And then you look at that bit and see how in the wet that would be nice and slimy.
So I guess it just really depends on the conditions and the weather.
Yeah. None of these tracks off the side are marked on the map. So yeah. And as we've heard, the people who fine people, I don't know, is it just the police can, well, fine you for being off the track? They've been out and about. So I'd rather do the right thing. Might be some cracking camp spots down there, you never know. No, we're on the wrong side of the river. The river is still down there. And, oh, look at those trees. Oh, that's someone's garden. That's why that's so beautiful. Ta-da! Here we have the main road. Woods Point, Jemison Road. Yeah. Nice. What do I want? There we go. Done.